All right, Dr. Walks, I want to start with you. You just heard what General Kelly said. Look, he's the Pentagon's top commander in South America. It's a significant position. And what we just heard him say was, frankly, pretty shocking, talking about, as he said, a few black guys on the border and that they were planning to head illegally to New York City, talking about that would be well within the incubation period for Ebola. Is he right to be worried about Liberians coming to the U.S. illegally from southern borders or not?
I think he's right to take those concerns to the doctors, to the people whose job it is to decide how we move and advise people like him. Making policy without a background to make policy, no, it doesn't make any sense to me what he's saying. And I'm sorry, are we now magically going to learn how to close the southern border of the United States? It doesn't make any sense. We have not historically been able to do that. Let's talk about what we can do. We can do screenings. Other countries have done screenings for years. We know how to do that. We can follow good, strong public health advice and not wait for some imaginary thing to happen.
Yeah.
We know where to go fight Ebola. It's in Liberia. It's in other countries in West Africa. Let's go and let's help.
And I want to ask you about that in closing those borders. But first, Ben, this issue of if there are outbreaks of people flooding into the United States that people are raising, is that fear-mongering? Is that crazy?
No, it's not crazy at all, because if you are around people that have Ebola, where do you want to get to? You want to come to the United States of America. If you think you've been exposed to it, you're going to want to come here, because the success rate where you currently are isn't even 50%. In most places, they're saying it's above 70% of a death sentence for people that get Ebola. So if I'm exposed to it, I'm going to do everything I can to get to the United States of America. And if you arrest me, but it saves my life, it's worth it. But the other issue is this: to act as if we can't close the border because we haven't done a very good job in the past is not a reason not to do it now. As you said, well, we've never been good at this. We've never given it a real effort. And I'll tell you this, if Ebola does come across the border, let me tell you, I promise you, we're going to all be asking the military to go down there and deal with it. And I'm sure this commander knows that, because we're already sending them around the world right now.
Go ahead,
we are not going to wait and use some what-if scenario. We know where Ebola is now. We know people are dying now. We are already sending...
Can you guarantee me it's not going to come across the border? You can't
guarantee me your story. So let me just tell you what we should do, what the science tells us to do.
Your story doesn't protect us.
I can tell you that we right now are helping people in West Africa, and that's where we need to be. We need to be helping them there and preparing here.
Totally agree.
We need to shore up our public health infrastructure here so that we can help the folks who may or may not get sick here.
But
and
Aaron,
then we need to continue helping people where they currently are getting sick. We have to do that.
All right,
but Aaron, here's the problem.
Okay, Ben.
Being in Dallas, seeing what happened when one person out of 300+ million people in America has Ebola, and the disaster that it has been, from the lack of people that knew how to deal with it, the fact they didn't clean the apartment in time, the fact that people were walking into that apartment serving quarantine orders that they had to get signed and didn't have protective suits, the fact that they were following 100 people shows you just how unprepared the CDC really is at dealing with this. And even the family's claims, saying that he didn't get the proper care he needed. This is one person. Imagine if 50 people come down with this.
All right. What about, though, the issue? All right, you've got the southern border issue. You then, though, Dr. Walks, have the issue of what to do with the fact that we know where the hot zone, the central zone for Ebola is: Guinea, Liberia, Sierra Leone. All right. At first, the CDC said there's no way that they were going to ask those countries' borders to be closed. Now, after meeting with President Obama, it seems nothing's off the table. Last night, Dr. Sanjay Gupta told me, look, you know what? Maybe we should close those borders, flood it with humanitarian aid, give them help, close the borders for 2 incubation periods. Why risk one person going to India, going somewhere and having this become an international out-of-control outbreak? Is it time to close the borders to those countries? No more flights.
Aaron, when we already have an area with a tremendous amount of infection, the public health team needs to come together and decide the best next step. And I would like to thank the other gentleman for making the point, because we actually don't have a history of doing particularly great stuff with one, and I really want to reach out to Mr. Duncan's family, and my heart, my prayers go out to his family.
Yes.
But we learn from that. We are Americans. We don't just do the same thing over and over again. That doesn't work. So I don't want us to go down a road of things that don't work. Let's go where the epidemic currently is, and let's follow good public health advice.
No
Ben,
one's saying
do you
we shouldn't
close
help the
those
people that are
borders?
there. Yes, you do, at least for 2 incubation periods. And here's the issue. We are overconfident in our ability to beat something. And let's be real candid. Right now, we are batting 0% when it comes to actually saving people's lives in this country that come down with Ebola in this country. So until our batting average goes up, I don't think we should be acting as if we have this under control. We don't have it under control. And the CDC on the 16th of September, standing there with the President of the United States of America, said the likelihood of Ebola coming to the United States of America was incredibly low. Well, they were totally wrong on that one. So why am I now going to act as if they have it under control when they don't?
Right. Thanks.
Well,
for
let's not
final
say
word quickly,
that.
Dr. Walks.
Let's not say incredibly low equals 0. It does not. We have not gotten bad advice from our public health leadership. We should let them make policy, not respond to one horrible case. Let's not let that make public health policy for America.